Welcome back to Beers Up Sports Talk. Sibo in the house, Debo in the house, episode 22. Before we even get started, Debo, fresh off vacation, what are you drinking?
Hey, man. I stopped at a couple places. I got a 603 IPA from the 603 Brewery.
New Hampshire, right?
New Hampshire, yeah, man. It's out of Londonderry.
Ooh, love me some Londonderry.
Absolutely. Hey, and I'm drinking out of a glass tonight.
Listen, roles reversed. Listen, I'm in a bottle tonight. Ellicotville Brewing Company, Mo Master, Ultra Pale Ale. A little light. Take it easy. Don't get too crazy.
Yeah.
You know, got a long night ahead of me. Who knows? All right, let's get started. Starting tonight, we're going to look at each division in Major League Baseball. We're going to discuss the breakout players that we think are going to make the biggest impact. We're going to look at the over-unders because gambling is fun. And we're going to pick an MVP from each division. But before we get into that, huge news out of the NFL. Massive news. Earth-shattering. Cam Newton has signed. And where has he signed, Debo?
The New England Patriots.
Right.
Yeah.
$550,000 guaranteed. Up to $7.5 million if he shows out. What do you think?
Okay. We have talked about it, that he's going to have to sign a prove-it deal, right? This is a bullshit prove-it deal. I'm on the side of Richard Sherman, calling this a disgusting deal. I mean, this dude, he's only guaranteed $550,000. He can make up to $7.5 million, which is great. You know what that is still less than? And this is a partial list. Joshua Dobbs, Matt Barkley, C.J. Beathard, Matt Schaub, Blaine Gabbert, Brett Hundley, plus 9 other quarterbacks are making more than him guaranteed.
Listen, you're not wrong. Here's what I'm going to say.
I mean, no, before you go into that, like, he's an MVP, a former MVP, and he was a couple plays away from being a Super Bowl champion.
Right.
Like, I know they lost by 14, but a couple plays go differently. He's winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. Even Mariota, Derek Carr, who he's better than, are making millions more than him.
Here's the difference, though. Most of those guys played last year, and Cam really didn't. And I'm not arguing with you. And I might play a tiny bit of devil's advocate, but I agree with you. Here's what I'm going to say. $550,000 means there's a 50-50 chance he's not even on the roster come the start of the season. I think it's a good move for the Patriots. It's a win-win. If Cam shows out and Josh McDaniels can put an offense together that suits him, a little RPO, get him out moving in the pocket, which, again, I think Josh McDaniels can create an offense for people. He did it, obviously, with Brady for all the different times, you know, the Patriots changed their offense, whether it was Moss and Welker, it was Edelman, Gronkowski, all those guys.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, he was the coach when Tim Tebow was in Denver.
Yep.
And say what you want about Tim Tebow as a quarterback, he did go to the playoffs. I love Josh Allen. Josh Allen ain't been to the playoffs yet. Tim Tebow's been to the playoffs.
Tebow won a game.
So, I think Josh McDaniels can create an offense. But I don't know that Cam Newton's on the roster come week 1. And I think it is the ultimate prove-it deal. But I also think maybe it gives the Patriots a chance, if it's not looking good for them, to cut bait. And maybe if there's an injury on a team, Cam gets to find work elsewhere. I'm really talking out of my ass on this one because I don't really know. I think it's a good move for the Patriots because if Cam Newton gets to 80% of what Cam Newton can do, they'll be a pretty good team. They were already going to be a pretty good team, I think, but they'll be a better team.
What I don't like about it is it's putting me in a hard position because, like, I like Cam. I think he's fun to watch. I think I want him to succeed, but he's going to the Patriots. So if he succeeds, that means the Patriots are succeeding, and that sucks. But think about it. He's going to struggle if he does. He's not the most accurate. He's a good quarterback, but he's not the most accurate. Right now he's got Julian Edelman, Mohamed Sanu, N'Keal Harry, and Marquise Lee, which I did not know about Marquise Lee. So that's not that awful.
Here, let me just stop right there. That's decent. Here's the problem, though. What offense they running in New England? What's Cam Newton doing in that offense? Like, he's going to a place where I assume they're going to create an offense for him, right? But he still has to learn that offense. He's going to have to learn it in a matter of months. And what Bill Belichick doesn't like is mistakes. And there are going to be mistakes. Cam
That's
Newton's going to throw interceptions. He's going to do things that are going to frustrate Bill Belichick if he's on the roster at all.
That's why I'm a little confused about this signing. Like, why wouldn't you do this 2 months ago so you can put the offense in? Right now, the offense is going to look different if it's Stidham or if it's Newton. Like, why start? You can't not start him if you're going to put a whole offense in. Like, that's what the confusing part is to me. So I don't see why you do that so late when you had the opportunity for him to study the playbook for the last 2 months.
I mean, I think part of that might have to do with Cam. Maybe he was reluctant to sign this because he wanted to see, one, if people are going to get injured, if a team was going to come with an offer. And I think at some point he probably figured, well, worst case scenario, I go play for the Patriots for a year. I do really well, and that either gets me the franchise tag, which is going to be 30 plus million, or it gets me a multi-year deal. I'm back in it, right? Yep. At worst, with Cam Newton as the quarterback of the Patriots, they go 8-8, 7-9. At worst, he's on TV. He's in front of people all the time. He's, they're going to be throwing it a lot. They're going to be, he's going to be. I don't see a downside for him in this unless he gets there, starts running the offense. They realize it's a bad match and they cut. Which I think it's 50-50.
Yeah. I mean, good luck to him.
One more thing. I read something on Twitter. I don't know who said it, but somebody said that that Cam Newton with the Patriots gives Bill Belichick the most dynamic offensive, or the potential to have the most dynamic offense he's ever had. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Remember back in 2007 when they went 16-0 and Tom Brady was chucking the ball every which way to Randy Moss? Please stop.
Yeah.
Please stop, people. Cam Newton is good. He's not great. And Tom Brady, Randy Moss is better than Cam Newton to Mohamed Sanu. Sorry, bro.
No, I agree with you there.
And to your point, and we don't need to go too much longer on this, I don't know that Cam Newton runs the Patriots offense as it's currently constructed very well.
No, I don't think so either. He was his best when he just, tuck and run here and there, the read option, and, you score those 2-yard runs, the 4-yard runs at the goal line. That's his game, and they wanted to take him away from that because they didn't want his body beat up. So he's got to make a decision. Do I try to become a pocket passer, or do I just do what I do and hope that I don't get hurt?
Right. And again, like I said, I think being on the Patriots is a win-win for him because if he does pretty well, they could franchise him, or he's going to earn a multi-year deal.
No doubt.
All right, let's move to baseball.
Had to dab.
Not bad. Now, let's not get into the weeds on this. There are people that are like, oh, Belichick's not going to go for that shit. Man, he let Gronk do whatever he wanted.
Yep.
Brady was off the charts all the time anytime there was a touchdown. Anytime Brady scored a touchdown from the 1-yard line, he was like freaking the hell out.
Yep.
Cam can dab. It's going to be
Gronk's play. Yep. Let him dab.
All right. To the National League West.
The West.
Where for the last however many years, the Dodgers have been spending $1 billion.
Yeah.
Winning divisions.
Yep.
And not winning World Series.
Yeah.
They've gotten close. They're stacked. They're still the prohibitive favorites in this division. But let's start alphabetically because what's better than starting at the letter A? And let's dive into the Diamondbacks. So tell me, Debo, who on the Diamondbacks gets you most excited?
Well, I'm really looking at Ketel Marte.
Is that how you say his first name? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I'm not sure. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. And then let's run with it. So I am looking forward to watching Ketel Marte. Prior to last year, he was a 260 hitter, 22 home runs and 400 at-bats over 4 seasons. He set career highs in pretty much every offensive category last year. So I'm really looking to see if he's going to fall back to his normal average self or if he'll step up even more and power the Diamondbacks maybe to a wild card berth.
Not bad. Now, I am going to go with Marte, but the Marte brothers. Kettle. I'm going to go with Kettle. You go
okay.
Ketel. I'm going to go Kettle. We're just absolutely slaughtering his name, Kettle Marte and Starling Marte. Two outfielders, two guys that, when good, are really good.
Yep.
The guys that are going to hit, they're going to drive in runs, they're going to steal some bases, they're going to hit for above average. You're right. I think with Kettle, he was an infielder with the Mariners. He gets traded to the Diamondbacks. They move to outfield. He kind of has this kind of year after year keeps improving, and now he's very valuable to them. Starling Marte, coming over from the Pirates. Again,
Yep.
They have a pretty good outfield, and those are the guys. Special, shout out to Madison Bumgarner. I don't know if he's got anything left in the tank.
So that was my
nice
other.
addition to them.
I was thinking about him as being a player to watch because, man, if he can get back to almost his old form, it really puts Arizona in a good spot. I think that they are going to fight for the wild card spot. One of the wild card spots. There's two of them. Their over under is 31 wins out of 60 games, so 31-29.
What do you think?
I think they're going over.
Me too. Boom! Put it on the board. Put your bets in, folks. All right. Next up, Colorado Rockies. At home, amazing. On the road, well, hold on. On the road, at home, offense amazing, pitching. On the road, it tends to flip-flop. Give me your player. Who you got?
So let's just stay with these really hard names to pronounce, and I'm going to go with Raimel Tapia.
Wow. You're digging deep for that one.
Really, I mean, he's going to be one of the starting outfielders. Just like Marte, he's had an average first 4 years. This will be his 5th year, so I want to see if he's going to step up and do what Marte did. I mean, he's gone up every year. He had 9 home runs last year in his at-bats, and I think that it's possible he could take that next step. Not
bad. I am not going to answer the question directly and say the right side of the infield, where Trevor Story and Arenado occupy shortstop and third base. Two guys that hit above 300, two guys that mash, and two guys that are, if healthy and, hitting effectively away from Coors Field, could be potential MVP candidates. And so those are my two.
I like it.
But I do want to take a moment. Let's take for a moment for someone who won't be playing for the Colorado Rockies this year.
Yes.
That's Ian Desmond, who has on Instagram and now probably more outspoken about it, has decided not to play this year.
Yep.
And has kind of pointed to the systemic racism within Major League Baseball as a reason why he's not playing. I think he's using this opportunity to kind of stake his claim, to make his point. And, while players are choosing to not play for a variety of reasons, I think not only do I kind of back him on his purpose, but I love that he's been very explicit in why and explaining it. And it couldn't be a cooler moment.
No, I do love that. I actually got into a little spat on the social medias with someone who posted that he's just using it as an excuse because he's no longer a good baseball player. And I was like, wow, okay. It was kind of surprising. Like, just give the guy credit for taking a stand.
Right.
When others aren't.
Good, cool story, bro. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yep.
All right, over under.
They're at 27.5.
What do you got? Oh, me?
Yeah, you go first.
I got them going over. I think their offense is pretty good. I think their pitching is pretty good. And I think they're more of a 500 ball club than a below 500 ball club.
I'm not going to agree with you there. I'm going to go under.
Good. We can't agree on everything.
Not terribly under, but I could see them about 25 games won.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have the prohibitive favorites, the LA Dodgers. Who you got?
Dodgers got some pretty big acquisitions this past winter, I believe. And
whenever, feels like forever ago.
I know. That's who knows. We could all say Mookie Betts, but I'm actually going to go with another guy that came over with David Price. I mean, he's high priced. He had some great.
David Price is high priced. I like what you did there.
Yeah, man. He, he had some great years in 2017, 2018, and he struggled a little bit last year. Right now, he's third on the depth chart. And if he can find he has ace stuff. If he can find that, those Dodgers are going to be really hard to beat. And I think he could. I'm not sold on the NL West. I know they always fight it out, but I think there's good opportunity for Price to bounce back and have a good year.
I mean, I can't disagree. But this is Mookie. This is, I mean, if ever there was a moment for somebody to show out, is for a MVP to go to a team that has been forever on the verge of getting over the hump and unable to get over the hump. This is their superstar caliber player. This is a guy who's going to, if he does what he's supposed to do over these next 60 games, look, he's looking at $35 to $40 million a year for the next 10 to 15 years. I know that's crazy to say out loud, but it's probably the case. Mookie Betts is what's going to make this team go. They're super stacked. You got Muncy, you've got Seager, you've got Turner, you've got Bellinger, you've got Peterson, you've got Kershaw and Bueller and Price. You've got Jansen if he's healthy, the closer. They've got a stacked team. But Mookie's the best player on that team.
Listen, I bet you're going to hear from me a little later in this podcast talking about Mookie a little bit.
That's fine. I'm like, if Mookie shows out, the Dodgers are probably 1 or 2 in terms of the NL World Series favorites.
Oh, absolutely.
In my opinion, right? Like, so I just think that the way he goes is the way the team's going to go. So that's my guy. All right. Over and under. What do we got? 37 and a half? What do you got?
Over.
Me too. Just kidding. I went under.
Did you really?
I did. And here's the thing. Here's why I went under. I think this division's a little better. And I think with a team that good, they're either going to win 50 games or they're going to win like 32 and people are going to be like, oh, maybe they're not as good as we thought, and then they're going to show up to the playoffs and just show out. I think that's more likely to happen. You got a lot of new faces on the team. You got people that were supposed to be traded in the offseason that didn't get traded. Jansen's a question at closer. You know, he was hurt last year. Who knows what that's going to look like. I just think they could be a team that could lose some games that, you know, maybe they should have won or could have won. So I'm going under.
I think they're going to win 40.
Ooh, 40 and 20.
40 and 20. And I think they're going to average like 8 runs a game.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now we get to the real studs of the division. Next up is the Padres. And listen, I think the Padres could be pretty good.
Yeah.
But give me your player, D. Who you got?
I mean, you talked about you said right side, but wouldn't it have been left side because shortstop and third base?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, they got Machado, and then they got the guy I'm looking at because I like to say his name, Fernando Tatis Jr. Listen, the guy had a fantastic rookie season. 317, 22 home runs in 84 games. If he cuts down on his strikeouts, he had 110 and 334 at-bats. I know Major League Baseball right now is long ball or bust, and strikeouts aren't as big of a deal. But, man, if he can figure that out a little bit and get a few more walks, he's going to be pretty deadly. And I think it's someone that people are going to be talking about for years to come.
I love Fernando Tatis Jr. I think he's a stud. This team goes the way of Machado because I think Tatis is going to do exactly that and better. I think that's the type of player he is. Manny Machado is a guy who, when he's on, is one of the deadliest players in baseball. When he's hot, when he's hitting the ball all over the field, out of the park, he is dynamic. But he's also a guy that can disappear at times, strike out a lot, kind of get in a slump. And I think if he comes out and he's hitting the ball all over the place, they're going to be a dangerous team because they're young, they've got talent. Yeah, I think he's the guy that makes them go. So I'm looking at him to kind of be the guy And again, that's what they signed him for, to be the guy.
Yep.
And I think they just need him to show up. They've got a pretty bomb offense. When you factor in like Hosmer and Will Myers if he's healthy, and Pham, who they got from Tampa Bay, like they've got quite a squad. I think the pitching could be an issue, but like they should tear the cover off the ball.
One guy I think that I'm going to keep an eye on, just because I've been following him, is Josh Naylor. He's supposed to be, right now he's projected as a DH, but if Myers is hurt, then
which he's always hurt.
Right. So he'll end up playing the outfield, but he's younger, so it'd probably be better for them to just have him play the outfield. And
Myers, so they've got them. So they've got them at 31. Am I right in that?
31.
31.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I was up in the air about this one. I like you said, the offense is good. The pitching, not so much. I think they have a pretty above average defense. So if they can save a few runs, I think they're going to be right around 30, 31. So I guess I'll have to go under, but I think they're probably going to be a 500 team.
So I had originally a push.
Yeah.
I know that's a cop out. And so I'm sitting here. No. I'm sitting here and we're talking about it. They're going under. They're not winning 31 games. They don't have the pitching, and as much offense as you can muster up, if your pitchers aren't there, if they're not showing up, and again, I'm not saying their pitching is bad. I just don't think it's good enough.
Right.
Especially against, you got to go into Colorado. You got to play the Dodgers. You got to play Arizona. These are all teams that have that kind of offense plus some pitching.
They're also only playing 5 games in Colorado.
I'm just saying I think Colorado's better than them. I think Arizona's better than them. I think LA's better than them. And I think they also have like as good or better in offense plus better pitching. So again, yeah, you're right. It's only 5 in Colorado, but I just think those matchups are going to hurt them.
And you know what? I love the fact that National League is going DH. Like at first, I was kind of like, oh, it was kind of cool, just the whole pitchers, and you have to actually play a game and strategize. And then I'm sitting there, I'm looking at people that are going to get in the lineup and actually hit, and it's like, this is probably going to be awesome, and it's going to change. I think it's going to change some things. It's absolutely going to change some things.
Oh my God, and it's going to make. Again, that 9th hitter is going to be a professional Major League Baseball player, like a professional hitter, not a pitcher who's thinking about, I got to go out there and pitch after I strike out on 3 pitches. All right, let's finish up with the Giants. Whew, how the mighty have fallen. It wasn't that long ago. These guys were World Series every other year, crushing it. Pitching was off the chains. Hitting was off the chains. And now, not great.
No, not great.
Who's your guy?
So, you've probably noticed I'm going a lot of Marte isn't really a breakout, but
still a younger guy.
Yeah, but I've really tried to do breakouts for this players to watch, because obviously Mookie Betts huge, Manny Machado. But I went with Mike Yastrzemski, kind of along the same line as Tatis. Not as his batting average wasn't as high. It was only at 275. Hit 21 home runs. Same problem. A lot of strikeouts and minimal at bats. Mm-hmm. But if he can keep doing what he's doing, he's going to be great. And just take 2 more steps. It's only his 2nd year. I think you're looking at. I like learning about the rookies and the younger players. I didn't ever do that before, and I think he's someone who could really step up. And how can you not cheer for someone named Diaz, right?
Yeah, no, I respect the hell out of that. I don't know what to say about this team, man. They're old. They're not that good. I mean, if I said these names like 5 years ago, you'd be like, this is a World Series contender. Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, Evan Longoria, Johnny Cueto, Jeff Smarja. Like, these are all guys that 5 years ago were crushing it.
Well, Cueto wasn't bad last year, was he?
I think he was hurt last year, the year before. I don't know. Here's what I'll say. I'm going to cop out again. I'm going pitching. That's my answer to this. For this team to be anywhere close to good, they need these veteran arms and these young bodies to show up,
Yeah.
right? Because they spent $90 million each on Cueto and Smarja. For the most part, they've been a disappointment, or they've been injured, or both. And if those guys can show out along with some of these younger guys, and they can get 70% of like a Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, Longoria, then they could be a pretty good team. They're not going to be a pretty good team. I don't have high hopes for this team.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, I've got Yaz on the list. I think it's a cool story. Obviously, you know, if he becomes a really good or a good baseball player in the Major League Baseball, I think that would be a great story. But I think if this team can't pitch, they're not going to win a lot of games. And they've got some veteran guys who in the past have been able to pitch. And obviously they invested in those guys thinking, you know, let's make one more run at this. And it hasn't really worked out for them. Over under, D, 25 and a half.
Under.
Yeah, same here.
I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it gets close or not. But this team isn't very good. And you know what? Here's the thing. When a young team isn't very good, you can kind of wrap your head around it. But when you've got World Series MVPs and guys that used to be studs making $20 million a year, $15 million a year, and you're winning maybe 20 out of 60 games, not great, Bob.
I mean, they're playing 40 games in the division.
Yeah.
I can't see him winning more than 5 to 7 games out of those 40.
Wow, dude, that's cold. I actually think they'll be pretty competitive with the Padres. Maybe because they're an older team. Maybe because, and you know what I've been thinking when we decided to do this. One of the things that came to mind was, you know, in a shortened season, do veterans who know how to kind of get in and out of slumps, who know how to kind of work through kind of the struggles, who know the little ticks to kind of get them back on track. Does that matter in a short season? I don't know if it does, but it's something that came to mind. I just think about these teams that are younger. I think about the Padres, right? Young team. They get off to like an 0-6 start. Are they just
going to go in the
get it back?
Yeah.
Right? You know, whereas like if the Dodgers get off to an 0-6 start, I imagine they're just going to be like, let's knuckle up and let's go.
Right.
Like let's just get it together.
No, I think it's going to be very interesting. You got 60 games. There's an article on ESPN that I want to read, and they're like, these World Series champs wouldn't even have made the playoffs if it was a 60-game season. And the Nationals were one of them last year.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like you're literally going to have to hit from the jump. And I mean, think about it. You get off to a 2-8 start, which isn't that, you know, unexpected for some teams. Like you get off to a 2-8 start. Okay, you're 2-8. So what? You got another 152 games to play, right? Now you get off to a 2-8 start. You got 50 games left, and you probably got to win 40 of them, you know, or 35 of them, right? Where, you know, it's going to put a lot of pressure on teams early on. So I think to your point, you could see some teams get off to a hot start that maybe aren't as good and ride that to the playoffs.
No, I'm looking forward to the drama of what it's going to actually be. I think you're going to see some teams slide in. That's why I was thinking Arizona has a shot at the wild card. I think you're going to see a lot of that throughout the whole season, and I look forward to it. It's
absolutely.
I mean, maybe it's because I'm just itching to watch something, but I think it's going to be good TV.
Listen, I've been watching soccer, so my itch is not as bad. All right. Who's your MVP, D? Who's your MVP of the National League West?
We talked about him. You talked about him. I dropped a hint. It's Mookie Betts.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's a 5-tool player. I mean, you talked about it. San Diego's pitching staff isn't great. San Francisco's pitching staff isn't great. Colorado's a haven for home runs.
Yep.
I don't understand how he can't win it and be the best player in the NL West. It doesn't make sense. And he's probably going to get more opportunities to drive in runs this year because he probably will not be batting in the 2 spot like he was a majority of last year. I think it's him, and it's not even going to be close.
No, I'm with you, 100%. Mookie's my guy, and what's going to be amazing is he's going to have an incredible season. He's going to lead the Dodgers just to the cusp of the World Series. They're not going to win it, and then he's going to re-sign with the Red Sox, and it's going to be amazing.
Cool story, bro.
That's what I believe in my heart of hearts. That's what's going to happen. They let him go to the Dodgers so they could get some assets. They're going to, bring him back, put him in center field. Alex Verdugo can stay in right field. It's going to be glorious. I mean, what a play by the Red Sox. But MVP of the NL West is 100% Mookie Betts. As you said, there's not a better player. He's on the best team, and he's got a lineup that should allow him to just absolutely rake.
Yep. With that
All right,
being
y'all.
said, yeah, division
Let us
winner.
know what you think. Over-unders, I mean, if you're a gambling person, take our bets. We're probably right.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, except for the one where we disagreed, because one of us is going to be right, the other isn't. So
I'm right. Devin's wrong, but, it is what it is.
I'm older. I'm wiser.
Smart. The smart play. Take Devin, and when he's wrong, don't come see me. All right? I'm just going to be counting my stacks. All right. Next up, we'll probably do the NL Central. It feels right. But for now, or maybe the AL West. Maybe the AL West. I don't know. We'll get.
Hold up. We alluded to it, but I want to hear you say it. Division winner is?
Oh, it's the Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah. The Dodgers win this division. I mean, Arizona will be competitive. I think the Rockies will be better than 500, but I do think the Dodgers win this division, even if I think it's just going to be by a couple of games. What about you?
I am also on the Dodgers, and I'm not ready to go with wild cards, but I've said it. Arizona is going to fight for the wild card, and I think right before the season starts, we'll do a full division winner, wild cards, and all that show as well. So,
Yeah.
And I think we will absolutely do AL West. I think we'll just do that through the rest of the way and just do their partner division since that's who they're playing.
Absolutely. That's a smart move. Listen, you know what? You are older, you are wiser, and I should have just let you do your thing. Take his bet, folks. Take his bet. Don't take mine. All right, y'all. Till next time. Any parting shots, D?
I do. People from Massachusetts, phase 3 is going to be starting Monday. Don't be stupid. Still wear your mask. Social distance. I don't want to see the spikes like Texas and Florida and Arizona. These people they're voluntarily, like, businesses are closing because they know it's bad. Republicans are saying wear masks. It's not great. Let's go. Be smart.
Just wear a damn mask, folks. And don't forget, Black Lives Matter. Y'all have a good night.
Black Lives Matter.
We'll see y'all soon.
Peace.